Hello, hello, hello.
Morning.
Good
Hello,
morning.
everyone.
Happy
Morning.
Friday.
Hey, happy Friday. How's everyone? How's everyone on stage?
Oh,
Oh, doing
good.
wonderful. Doing
Definitely
super.
doing good. Getting a little colder outside up here though.
Uh, really? Colder?
Yeah, I think it was like 58 yesterday.
I don't know
Which
what that means. Sorry, I'm a Celsius kind of guy.
mm,
Yeah, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
The rest of the world does.
Let's see. 55 F to C. Oh, that's cold. Yeah, 12. Like 12.
yeah, it was cold.
12.
I couldn't even
Yeah,
go walking on the beach.
here it's getting really, really hot. We had like 26 Celsius. So not a fan. But anyways, hope everyone's fine. Let's see who's in Discord at this time. Of course, Mr. Wanagen there as always, our amazing artist here in the team. Hello, Etilugs. Clear your cat. Gingerbread Man, thank you for coming and welcome everybody. Poison, Lace Lumberjack. Let's see. Let's give it another minute. Dubstep Rod, welcome, man. And yeah, well, so welcome everybody to the October 20th town hall. We've been doing this weekly town hall since July last year. So we need to share what's going on with everyone, with the team, with the game, answer questions, share news. And first of all, I wanted to ask if anybody listening now was present yesterday for ahead of the game. I showed my face, which you know it's rare in these things. Uh, but Bitbender insisted so. It was an interesting interview. I tried to answer as many questions as I could and be as candid, as frank as possible regarding what's going on with the team, with the game. So if you haven't checked it out, please go and take a look whenever. But the highlight that you may be here for is that we'll have Bitbender himself here in around 55 minutes. Is that correct, Paul? Paul in my ear? Yes. So we'll continue after the AMA ends. We'll do a little break. We won't stop the transmission, and then Bitbender will come in and we'll go through the current draft of our light paper. Let's see. I have some comments here in Discord. Poison said did great. Musashi did great. Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Um, let's see. So yeah, before we move on, you guys on stage, good. Ninja Surprise, Farmer Michelle Volkron, how are you guys?
Doing good.
You ready
Yeah.
for today's release?
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
ready.
Okay, there's an interesting town. I've never seen that starter town before. Farmer Michelle, is that your doing?
Yes. Myself and Wild Moopsie, is that his Discord name? I
Uh
forget.
huh.
Yeah, well, Mopsy is our new game designer. So we're trying a couple new things. So we'll get more information on that. I hope you guys like it. It's gonna be interesting. You'll be able to test it, of course, over the weekend, as always. And then you have the I think it's the last Anything Goes competition, or is it not? Oh no, it's not. We already had that. We have a new thing coming next week, right? So with an interesting new starter town. So I think we should get started. Why don't we go ahead and talk about rewards, Farmer Michelle?
I think what rewards went out this week. So this week we sent out the rewards for the last week's competition. That was Anything Goes number 2 of our 3 string of Anything Goes events. Yeah, so those went out. The Coco Storages for the month of September have not yet gone out. There's a good chance that the common and the rare ones will be going out soon, probably early next week. The uncommon ones may take a little bit longer. We had some issues with running the report, but they will be out. And I think that's all I've got for rewards.
Wait, so I think we should stay on the div distribution a little bit, right? So
Oh yeah,
how's that
dirt.
like?
Yep. So everybody who owns a Townstar Common Ground World node got 450 dirt sent to their account. Dirt is just a soft token. We settled on 450 because that was about how long it had been since nodes had earned last for like how many days. And then we also went back and ran a report of the last 90 days. And anybody who had been running their node for 6 hours a day for any of those 90 days got an additional one dirt for each day that they had had uptime for. So I think the most you could have gotten was 540 dirt. And then we will continue to distribute one dirt daily for everybody whose node is up for at least 6 hours a day.
Okay, so yeah, so just a recap, as Michelle was saying, 450 for everybody, and then extra rewards for the last 90 days for people who actually had it running, and going forward, one dirt a day. And you know that dirt is just well, we better didn't want to say, but is like eventually that will be transformed into a non-database currency, like an actual cryptocurrency. That's the plan. So that ties into what we'll discuss later on regarding tokenomics. So please check that you got what you were supposed to get. Make sure to tell us if you did it, and we can follow up. I want to address something that I'm seeing in Discord. There are some comments of where's SageMaker? Where's SageMaker? Well, SageMaker, he's fully on board for Common Ground World, but he's also working on most other games. So he'll I can ask him to come here next week if you guys want to hear him out. But I meet with him at least three, four, sometimes five times a week to discuss the game, what we're doing. He provides feedback. He suggests new features. He's been involved in the light paper drafting too, although that's been mostly Bitbender. So SageMaker is truly important to what we're doing here in the game, but he's also being tasked with helping other teams succeed. So you know that we have a bunch of games in the pipeline that are coming out very soon. That's because SageMaker has been involved in those discussions, trying to push things forward. And like how did he say, like walk the talk? So walking the talk not only for our game, but for other promised games in the pipeline for Gala. So that's the reason why he's not necessarily as involved as you may think, but he's actually fully involved not only in this game, but in all other games and other processes too in the company. So I think that that covers that. But if you have any questions regarding that, you can just ask. In the interview yesterday, I mentioned that I've been acting as a team lead for a while, and it came to a surprise to some people. But you hear me here, every week talking about the game and leading this discussion. So I thought that was a given. But if you have any doubts regarding that, please let me know, or let Farmer Michelle know, and she can break the news to me. Do you see any questions regarding that, guys? Both from Farmer Michelle and you surprised?
There were some, but they should just like you. I don't understand why people don't like you.
What? They don't
Why would
like me?
anyone not like you?
Seriously, that's what I'm
If
saying.
if
He's
they
the
don't like
best.
me,
I'll be your
I
friend.
guess it's because of my accent, which I think is pretty racist.
That's racist.
That's racist. No, I'm joking. Sorry. We have that kind of humor here in South America, which is probably not appropriate in the U.S. So why don't we continue here with let's see, where do we have our document? So what's coming next, Farmer Michelle?
Oh, let's see here on the agenda. We've
I
got
think I'm
a
up, right?
social media update. Yep.
Yep.
Ninja surprise.
All right. So I think last week I told you guys that I was working on a new Common Ground promo video. So I'm currently working on that. We just got into the storyboarding mode. So we're gonna we just finished up the script. So things are chugging away with that. I wanted to address a couple of things about Zeely. Actually, so I've had a couple of community members tell me that they didn't receive the rewards for August, and I've heard some of you guys asking me about September rewards as well. So, as you know, I was on family leave on September since I had a kid. So I I was unable to really be 100% attentive to the Zelia. I did kind of see what was going on there, um, and I'll explain like what I'm going to be doing to remedy that. So apparently, the what I heard from some of the community members that were saying that they didn't receive the rewards for August is that they finally received them when the rewards that previously went out last week were distributed, so they should have them already. Those rewards were the Rose and Lily NFTs. So if you guys got that, then you were in the top 25 of the leaderboard there for the Zealy. So as for the September rewards, what I'm thinking about doing is that since it seems that most of the winners, or if not all the winners, that were in the top 25 or so last month, are like around that same area. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this month's winners to about 35 to make up for September, and distribute about maybe two NFTs to kind of make up a little bit for last month as well. So yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing to make up for September, and you can expect those rewards to go out probably like in the early November for both September and October. And then lastly, I'm looking into starting to do a Halloween Gleam competition. So I'm gonna have more details about that. I know that there's some pretty awesome Halloween themed collectibles that we have coming out. So I'm looking into what we could do with those. So yeah, that's all that I really got for social media.
Okay. Thank you so much, man. Ninja Surprise here, guys. Coming back to take care of Silly and everything social media. So I see a comment regarding dirt, like you can't see the full amount of dirt that you have. That's something that we're aware of. We're asking the teams in charge of those things. How can we fix that? So that's in the works, guys. Sorry if that was turned on and there are a couple of issues, but we'll keep solving them. Let's see. Are there any other comments regarding social media or anything else in Discord?
Not that I see.
Okay,
Oh,
I see a couple of nice Musashi emojis. Musashi for president. Thank you, guys. I really
I'm
appreciate
trying to
it.
support you.
Yeah, I'm. I know that some of you guys are frustrated with, changes to the game or how things are moving along, or how the prioritizations have changed. I understand your frustration. I'm trying to keep the team together and moving forward. As I said yesterday, this team has we have hired around 6 people in the last month and a half. So this game continues to be a priority for Gala, for SageMaker, for Bitbender, and for Benefactor. So just wanted to put that out there that like we're not going anywhere. We're set on fulfilling promises that we talked about yesterday. If you want to go more in depth regarding what was said, please go check out the video. It's in the YouTube's right, Paul? Yes. So it should be up there already. You should be able to check it out. And if you have more questions after that, well, you can ask in this AMA, this town hall, or next week's town hall. Oh no, maybe next week I may not be here. Let's see. So, what's coming up next?
I think that we're probably going to skip talking about the light paper and tokenomics because we've got that whole read through starting relatively soon now, 45 minutes or so from now. I don't know if there's
Yeah.
anything we want to say now.
No, I mean we have already discussed some of the mechanisms in the last weeks, guys. We've just been making sure that the designs are accommodating of the different sinks and faucets for dirt slash potential cryptocurrency. So we are finalizing some things, but you already know most of what's going on with that. What's the general plan? You know that nodes are involved and kills are involved. But you'll get more information in around 40 minutes when Bitbender is here and we go through the light paper read through. So remember that we are staying live after this. Okay, so let's see what do we have next.
I think we were all going to talk about Halloween and
Halloween.
what our favorite scary movies are, which I unfortunately did not come up with my own because I don't watch a lot of scary movies.
Well, we were going to discuss this last week, right? It's Halloween
Yep.
time. I know that many of our players are from the U.S. That's very big there. I'm not a, I mean, in my country, it's not as big, but it's getting bigger. Um, I really enjoy the time, and when I've been to the U.S. around October, everything tastes like, what is it? Like pumpkin
Pumpkin
spice,
spice. Ugh.
which I'm not a big fan of, but I understand that it's important for you guys. Um, so regarding horror, I just want to recommend a couple movies if you guys give me a couple minutes. But it's basically I love Hereditary, really great movie, amazing, more dreaded than anything else. And I just recently watched Talk to Me, and I really, really, really liked it. It's really fun. And the other thing that I watched was a comedy called Total Killer. That's more science fiction and funny than horror, but yeah, I highly recommend it. It's really fun. What about you guys? Michelle, you're too chicken, right?
Yeah, I just don't watch a lot of scary movies. I do like scary movies. I like thrashers, like Texas Chainsaw and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
But they're
You,
not as scary. They just
you
don't. I
s-
don't know. For some reason, they don't seem
what?
as realistic. I don't know
That's
why.
that's one of the
Yeah.
most that's one of the most scary movies ever.
It
I don't know.
is.
They
What do
don't
you?
scare me as much. I don't know why. I think the ones that scare me the most are ones like that are like haunting movies, like The Ring. I really did not like watching The Ring, and I don't
Oh,
like movies like that, or like
okay.
Paranormal Activity. No,
So
thank you.
supernatural stuff. Got it. So talking about Texas Chainsaw, we have a decoration NFT coming soon, right? That looks really cool, and it's
Yeah.
related to chainsaws.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, so I think we already posted some images last week, but those are coming next week at some point. We'll announce it properly.
Yeah.
There are four decorations coming. These are our first NFT decorations. So we're gonna see how they go. They look really cool, especially in conjunction with um, our Halloween special. Let's say that Michelle's gonna talk about later. But I'm getting ahead of myself. What about you, Ninja Surprise? Anything you really like?
For the horror movies, I think I was like really into like the Paranormal Activity movies when they were like the early ones. Those were like actually pretty fun to watch. I don't know. Did you ever see those before?
Yeah, I watched the first ones. They were like a little scary.
Those
Then
were
it,
good. Yeah.
then they got silly, right?
Yeah, the last few ones, like the whole series just kind of ended, and it was getting like a little ridiculous. But
Yeah.
not like the early ones were good, and I think Saw was really fun.
Oh, I
But
like Saw.
Saw is good.
Jeez, you
Yeah.
okay,
guys.
yeah, okay. Now I
Come
see
Come on,
how.
Michelle,
on.
you
So,
watch them. Now you're like, oh, Saw is good. Yeah, no, so you do watch them.
so
I
I,
do.
I I realize what Farmer Michelle likes: dismembering and gore and blood and guts.
She goes, I'm a big chicken, but I love watching people be dismembered.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, what about you, Welcome? Before we move on.
Oh, yeah, I don't like the slashers. I like, the psychological horror things where like your reality isn't real. But I wanted to share a real quick story. We if anybody watches the vampire show What We Do in the Shadows, with Nandor, Nadja, and Laszlo, it's hilarious. It's a really good comedy. But my wife's working on her book, and I actually paid through Cameo. If you've seen the website, I paid, and this is not an endorsement, but I paid Nandor, and he left my wife in character a 6-minute video encouraging her on the book she's working on, and it was the coolest Halloween like gift ever. So that was
That
that
is
was my
cool.
spooky. Yeah, it was really fun.
That's
Nice.
really nice. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's a little Halloween discussion. We'll have more information on Halloween, guys, because we have those. We had Haunted Maze and Haunted Mansion. We have the Haunted, kind of like the, well, it's not haunted, it's the spooky theme park, but we'll get more information on that a little bit later. We don't have, I don't think we have any news on our restyle this week, but that continues to be on the works. We're optimizing some assets. There's some work to be done there, to make sure that everything is as fast and as good as before, and that looks better. So actively working on that, especially now that we have our new art team. We presented Ismail last week. He refused to use a nickname, so Isma was here, and he's our new art director. He's doing a great job, not only with the new stuff. You can see that work on the two new NFTs that we sold, the Common Grand Academy and the Composting Facility. You'll see in the Halloween stuff, and he's actively working on improving the art resale assets and making sure that that works well before it goes live. So, Farmer Michelle, what's next?
What is next? We've got Q&A
Q&A. I think
next.
that you skipped the game updates.
Oh man, where is it? Oh yeah, I scrolled way far down. Game updates are next. I was way down at the bottom updating NFT information for us.
That's fine, don't
Sorry.
worry. So I'll try to make it very brief, but we skipped it last week because we had we had Bitbender here doing an actual AMA instead of a town hall. So I'll go over some of the things that changed. We added we had the Anything Goes competitions number 3, right?
Yep.
We had some fast forward optimizations in common ground mode. So you may have noticed, well, you Michelle sent the change log, but this basically means that you have like noticed in common ground mode that that is super quick, right? So it goes up to, let's say, 5%, 10%, and then it kind of flies over to 100%. That's because we're doing some optimizations in common ground mode that we cannot yet do in competitions, because competitions are more complicated and require higher fidelity. So at least the casual mode, the common ground mode, is way faster when loading, which is really appreciated. I think that's a great job from the engineers. Let's see. We added we fixed all the social media links because we changed to common ground world. We had an NFT inventory optimizations, server retry logic optimizations, a lot of code optimizations. Let's see what else. We had that issue with GALACHAIN. When we changed to GALACHAIN, we had some NFTs that were missing. That was fixed. So everything should be available now. If you're missing something, please let us know. As far as we know, all NFTs, both ETH and GALACHAIN, are working in game, but we have a ton of them. So if you know one that is not working, let us know. We fixed some stretching for backgrounds that were, causing problems in different resolutions. The inventory system issue we had that was fixed. Some general stability improvements. What else? Disconnect messages were fixed, and then for something that is more related to simulation, the solve field was not showing correct timers. That was fixed. The We have wrong Miller pickup priorities to sugarcane, wheat, sovereign, and wood. That was fixed too. And there were some fixes to fireworks and ornaments regarding object removal and road upgrades. And I think we also fixed an issue with fast forward and cache when ornaments are active. Let's see what else. A networking issue fix, asset loading improvement. So you'll see that a lot of things have been poured into the game that you don't necessarily see immediately, but these are reducing errors that some players were seeing, right? And potentially new players. We want to avoid that kind of issues. So a lot of optimizations and improvements. Um, Fix collisions and nav mesh for a couple of things, especially decorations and super chicken. And then for features, is this a spoiler? What I see here, Farmer Michelle, in the feature section,
Well, let me scroll up. No, it's not.
Coco Storage.
No. Yeah, that's September's NFT for playing.
Okay, have we announced that before?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So Coco Storage, it's close to done. I think it's going out pretty soon, right?
Yeah, hopefully early next week. I said that earlier in the AMA. For
Yeah.
sure, the common and the rare. And I did just get all the data for the uncommon one now as well. So that's all good to go. So hopefully they'll all be out at the same time early next week.
Okay, so all of those things, the Coco Storage is going out. I think that's in today's release, so you will get that pretty soon. And I think that the next thing is what's coming up next for the game. right?
Yeah.
So I would say that we have the Halloween stuff that I mentioned. So Farmer Michelle is going to go into more detail later, but I can tell you that it's four buildings similar to haunted previous haunted stuff, but we're also selling four Halloween decorations. So if you want to make your common ground town or your even your competition towns or your casual town more festive and more Halloween like, you can get those decorations and you can put them around the map, and they're kind of spooky but also cool. They have these nice animations. I think they look really great. Decorations are 1/4 of a tile, so you can fit all four of them in a single big tile, or just spread them around however you like. And for features that are in the pipeline, as you know, our two main ones are Node and Guild Work. I mentioned that yesterday in the head of the game, and also the NFT upgrade system that's also actively in progress. The abandoned town from main menu feature that for some reason it's a little bit delayed. Fulcrum, do you have any news on that you can share?
Sorry, I'm chatting about some urgent text. What?
I was saying
What?
that the abandoned town from main menu feature was
That's
in
right.
progress, but for some reason it's a little bit delayed.
Yeah,
Can
it
you go into
is.
a little bit more detail?
Sure. Yeah, there's a couple async operations that have to happen there, and we have to push in the right order the ways to basically re-spool the thread, so to speak, about all the processes and memory that's open and being operated on. So it's probably going to be a few more days. There were a couple urgent fixes and features that came up this week that pushed that off till next week.
Got it. So yeah, well, with all the I mentioned a bunch of fixes for many different things. So all of our engineers have been working on stability fixes, improvements. That sometimes pushes a couple features to a little later date, but that's coming, guys. And the other big thing that's coming that you probably won't see, but it's a huge change to how the game works, is the improved networking, right? What we call the RPC manager. Volker?
Oh yeah, that's been a big thing we've been trying to schedule against all other priorities since basically December. It's a huge rewrite. If anybody of the network stack, if anybody looks into the Godot libraries, how RPC and RPC ID and things like that are called, you'll see right away there's some limitations. And the reason it matters to the players really isn't just like, you'd think like, why do I care about the network stack? This isn't an, FPS. Um, there are some bugs that are almost impossible to reproduce, and they pop up because the network gets overwhelmed. So we have our resident, and this is not hyperbole. This our literal Godot expert on the team assigned to that. So I am excited to see how that turns out. It's good stuff.
Okay, so that's a big change. A lot of man hours in that, guys. So you may not see it, but that actually improves how the game runs on the server. So that's something that's coming soon. And the other big thing we're working on is, and I mentioned this yesterday too, is box support. So since we're working on tokenomics, which includes guilds, nodes, and NFT upgrades, we also need to turn on daily challenges, and we cannot turn on daily challenges without box, because a lot of you guys and other people outside of this community pay for them and they have town points associated with them. So we got to do good on our promises and allow those things to earn, right? So box support is in the works. It's mostly about, I mentioned yesterday, it's about grabbing remote assets and loading them dynamically, which is a little bit more tricky than what we do with our own assets. But if we manage to do that, we can potentially do something similar for other NFTs outside of Common Ground World in the future, which could be interesting. So those are the things that are coming down the pipeline. Do you guys see any questions from our dear community regarding those things? Let's see. Any questions?
Yeah, it's a
No,
lot
I
of
think
coffee talk.
coffee.
Yeah.
Yep, everyone's talking about coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. What the hell? I'm here explaining everything we've done in the past 2 weeks, guys, and what's coming down in the next weeks. It seems like nobody's listening.
There
Everyone got
is
distracted about some kind of coffee made from cats.
there's a couple questions from people about the API. Three people now. Um,
Okay.
yeah, no, that's a big part. We have to provide for some of our other more ambitious plans that I will not leak, but we have to provide a sanitized, throttled, key-driven, or at least key-gated API internally as well. Once we're done with that, that'll be handed over to the players. But guys, it's not like we can just make an API and then everything happens magically. We also have to give you a way to generate those keys. So the way we're thinking about that is in game right now. So you generate key from inside the game, but no promises. Work in progress. Just it didn't fall off our radar. Still work in progress.
Yeah. So guys, it's a matter of priorities too. Uh, but the important thing is that we do have the backing of the company and everybody involved for the game for a long time. So we're hoping that we can schedule some of those things and other quality of life improvements too while we work on nodes, guilds, upgradable NFTs, and a bunch of other things. And I see that. Let's see. I see the coffee. Oh, of course, one legend is leading the coffee discussion.
Of
He's
course.
of course he's been asking to do coffee metas, which I think is a good idea. We discussed it a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
It's just that we are not in coffee season; we're in Halloween season, so that's what we're concentrating on. Potentially Halloween stuff coming soon. Let's see. Uh, t- 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 I see a question here. Family Man, could we see a bit more focus on balancing point values for flagship products? Um, do you mean the selling crafts? Is that what you mean, or like the star values for crafts?
Yeah, I think you must mean the star values. I mean, I've been adjusting them every week for about a month now. It's a slow process. So I'm slowly moving things towards where they need to be. It's not going to be like one day we flip a switch and the game is perfectly balanced. It's going to take time.
Yeah, the good thing is that Michel is doing a great job, but we also have Wild Moopsy, our new game designer, coming in. He's learning, of course. He's been here 2 weeks, I think, but he's already impressed everybody. Um, and I think that he will be really useful in balancing these things when he gets the full hang of it and works in
Definitely.
conjunction with Farmer Michel. But I don't want to discredit what Farmer Michel has done because we have an update today that has a bunch of changes to metas, right? To star values.
I think it's more just for the actual meta for the one today.
Yeah, but what I mean is that you've been doing these changes every week,
Oh yeah,
and we gauge how you guys react to those. Like, is it more balanced? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it changing something at all? How people play the game, especially now with anything goes competitions, it's easier to see what people are doing and react to that. So yeah, it is a slow process, but we are following through on that. Let's see. Candy corn day. I have never had candy corn, but it looks gross.
it is
Maybe I'm
gross.
wrong. Remaster
Yeah.
saying always coffee season. Dabster says, are they still cool stars or points? They're still stars. We haven't changed that. Uh, let's see. TS box utility. So we haven't promised box utility. We did promise that we will get those things earning as they did before. So they'll have their town points associated with them. Let's see. Okay, let's see what questions we have. Oh, I have a question here. The captain, any update on bringing Mal back to the team? So there's no plan on bringing Mal back. We did ask him at some point, and he said that he was good on Meow Match. I think he's now on the marketing team, if I'm not mistaken, or
Yep.
something like that. So he was asked, and he said that no, he preferred to do something else. So, but we have been growing the team in a different manner. We have our game design. We have a PM coming Monday, a new addition to the team, which I'm hoping will help with sales and direction for metas and stuff like that, along with everybody else. So that's the answer for regarding Mao. Now I see some questions from our forum. Is that correct, Farmer Michel?
Yes, we do have questions from the forum. Some of them are for last week. Some of them are from this week.
Let's see. I see one here. Will there be any optimization for the game where it will not cause overheating on devices? I play with iPad and laptop. My device just easily overheats. I don't have that experience, but maybe you have some information on that, Vulcan.
Again, sorry, just trying to code during the AMA. What did you want an update on? Sorry about that.
So there's someone asking if there's going to be more optimization because some of his devices are overheating when
Yes,
playing the game.
yeah, absolutely. We were talking about that this week. There's some simple optimizations in terms of the CPU, which is what you're experiencing. But there's also one thing we found this week is there's some not optimized textures. Towns. If any of you played what we call Townstar Live, the Play Canvas version, it was much visually much more simple, fewer textures and materials and all that. We have a lot more in the new one, and different devices handle that differently. The way that WebGL does it, so it's a relatively complex topic because it's different per product. But yeah, profiling, optimizing, making sure we can get the most out of each device, so the most number of people can play is a big priority.
Okay, thank you, man. Let's see. Can we please have more information on node usages, upgrades, and play to earn? Last info on their intro was vague. I don't think it was very vague. We gave that we gave a lot of information at that time. We discussed it yesterday too in ahead of the game. And we'll have the light paper read through in 20 minutes. But I can quickly go over that. The nodes are gonna be um, your guild. So one node will become your guild essentially, and you can upgrade that. Um, I'm not gonna spoil how, but we're gonna tell in 20 minutes. So you can upgrade it, and just by running your nodes as before, you will get one dirt per day, and that day is 6 hours of uptime throughout the day. Is that correct, Joe?
Yes.
Right. So the second part of the question is if there's gonna be replaced by token or not. I mean, we were very clear that yes, that's a plan, right? So right now we're saying you're gonna get dirt, and at some point we'll say, okay, we're ready to launch this other thing, and we'll do a mapping. How much dirt equals the new thing, and then we'll just yank everybody's dirt out of their accounts and give them the cryptocurrency. So that's the plan on that. I think that's super clear. But if you have more questions, we'll go through the light paper in a little while. I have another question related to that. Could you explain level 1 to 20 NFT nodes? What in general does a level 5 node do versus a level 10 NFT node? This is a good question, um, which I think we also answered before, but let me give you a little bit of information. So, guilds will have three main vectors for improvement. One is amount of members, how many members it can hold. The second one is amount of slots for bots. Uh, by bots, I mean farm bot. What was the other one? Farm Michel. So we have farm bot. The crane is already out. We have
Trade bot, boom bot.
yeah, Trade boom bot. So we will make those things be slotable into your guild essentially, right? But you have a limited amount of slots. And the benefit you get of putting your tradebot, farmer, or whatever into that slot is that it provides a passive effect to all members of the guild, right? So that's something that you as a guild owner, you can leverage and say, hey, everybody, come to my guild because I own these bots and they provide this awesome benefit to everybody who's part of my guild in competitions. So the amount of slots to put bots in, that can also increase as you level up. And the third thing is amount of slots for shared NFTs. So we mentioned this too. Basically means that the guild owner, the guild master, can basically stake some of his NFTs into the guild, right? And then different members can check them out and use them in competitions, and then give them back to the guild, right? So only one person can use it at a time because it's an NFT, right? But the amount of slots where you can put NFTs and then they can be checked out can also increase. So I'm going into a lot of detail here, guys, but basically, let's assume that you start at level one and you have, I don't know, this is an example, 5 members, right? 5 max members. At level two, you go up by 3 more members. At level three, you get a second slot for bots. At level four, you get more members. At level five, you get another slot for a shared NFT, and so on. So each level, each upgrade should give you one improvement, an improvement in one of those three vectors that I mentioned. I think I can't be more clear about how that will work, but are there any questions regarding that? Any questions at all about guild upgrades?
Hmm.
Well, I see one question here from Naturgy, which is not related to that, but it says, when nodes become NFTs, I will get 10 times my nodes. I will be still getting 1 dirt per node. That is 1 dirt a day per running node. So if you get 10 times the nodes, you will have to run those 10 nodes for at least 6 hours a day to get 1 dirt for each one of them, right? So if you get 10 and you run them all for at least 6 hours, you will get 10 dirt a day. Is that correct, Michelle?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah. Now you can also do other things with them. Like you can sell them, gift them, and potentially use them in these upgrades that we're gonna mention. So, how do we upgrade those? We'll get to that when we go to the read through. Um, I think that that's more than enough for now. So let's move on to the next one. Let's see. Will the salt station and sugar stations that were supposed to get gems still happen? I'm not sure what this means. Farmer Mitchell?
Yes, when we sold the salt stations and the sugar stations, we promised that anybody who bought them would get a certain amount of gems. I forget what the exact amount is, but I have it saved in my notes. So we are still, we do know that that promise exists. Whether or not there will be gems as the word gems in the game, that I don't know, but it'll all work itself out to whatever the soft currency or whatever ends up being. However, that we do know that the promise is there. We didn't forget about it. It just hasn't been exactly figured out yet.
Got it. I'm really sorry that I'm not fully. I
It
mean, we
was
have a
from a long
document.
time before you
Yeah,
got here.
yeah, we have a document with all of the past promises. So what I'm trying to do, as part of this new team that it's in charge, is try to minimize the amount of new promises and maximize the promises that we close. That's why this whole plan is in place. We're trying to cover bots, we're trying to cover nodes, we're trying to cover daily challenges and earning NFTs and everything, so that we deliver on the promises as much as possible, and then we can keep on closing off older promises. So that's a good catch. We'll definitely include that. Let's see. Do you still monitor all the forms being submitted? Specifically, the town star won't load. Michelle, do you have any information on that?
Oh yes. I know I got a DM from somebody this week saying that they filled the form out a month ago and their town still hadn't been nuked and they couldn't get into the game. If you guys fill out the form, I check it every single day. Weekdays, I check it multiple times a day and do it pretty much live. But if you're inside the game in a different game mode while I go in there and remove the one town, it won't work. So if 24 hours have passed and you still can't access that town that you wanted me to remove, just refill out the form or send me a ping in Discord, which is usually what people do. Because I asked Volcron about it the other day because I wasn't sure why it was happening. But what happens, I guess, is if you're running the game and I remove a town while you're inside the game, the town save from the game that you have open will overwrite the fact that I removed your town, so it'll undo my changes. So just
Yeah.
fill out the form again or let me know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you're going to do any town nuking, you need to be logged out of the game. Just close the browser tab, nuke the town, come back.
Okay, so we should move on to our sale. We haven't done a sale, like the traditional sense of a sale, in a while. We were working on Common Ground, and the two Acrylic NFTs that we released as a bundle. By the way, our landing page has done great. Um, I think we're the only ones that have the capability for selling with credit card purchase with credit cards in Gala at the moment. That's being fixed, by the way, but we found a way, and that landing page has done great for selling those two NFTs. We're looking at ways to leverage that in the absence of credit cards while that gets fixed. Uh, but yeah, we haven't had like a normal sale in a while, and I think that it's interesting to know what's going on with Halloween. So, Farmer Michelle, what's the latest on the Halloween theme park?
Do you want me to go over the 4 different NFTs?
Of course.
Okay, sorry, I got distracted in Discord. Cameras making a lot of comments that don't seem to make a lot of sense to me, but I will talk to him personally later. So for Halloween NFTs, we've got a spooky ghost tracks, we've got a spooky wheel of nightmares, a spooky go round, and a spooky house of laughs. Hopefully you guys like the names. The first one I can talk about here will be let's talk about the spooky house of laughs. That one's going to be a free NFT. So pretty much everyone's probably going to get it who plays the game. We ran a report for anybody who had played 10 days in the last 6 months. So if you've gotten any of the common NFT storages in any of the last 6 months, you will get the Spooky House of Laughs NFT. What it's going to do is when it's placed down, it's going to boost the walking speed of chocolatiers by 7%. It doesn't stack, so you can only use one. We've got the Spooky Go Round, which is also going to be given free to players. But that one is only for people who've spent a certain amount of money in the last 6 months on other NFTs, similar to what we did last year with, I think it was the Zone 3, maybe Zone 2 of the Haunted Maze. I think it was the one that does clay. But it's a similar process to that. I'm not going to give the exacts, but that should be sent out early next week as well. Hopefully Monday before the sale. The sale should be on Monday. And the two that are selling are the Spooky Wheel of Nightmares and the Spooky Ghost Tracks. The Spooky Wheel of Nightmares is going to give a passive crop, though I'm not going to say what that crop is yet because it's not yet in the game, but you will find out on Monday, I guess, when we make the announcement. I'll just leave it vague in tomorrow's sale announcement, probably. And then the Spooky Ghost Tracks is going to give a 31% crafting speed boost to candy shops and to chocolatiers, both the in-game versions and to the NFT versions. That one also doesn't stack, but the one that gives passive crop will stack. It's basically like, it is corn. Look at everybody knows what it is already. It does give passive corn. Thank you all for guessing, so I didn't have to say it first. So corn is coming to the game, not popcorn, regular corn. And that'll be a 3-2-1 radius. Let's see. I don't have the prices listed right here in front of me. I'm almost 100% positive that the Spooky Ghost Tracks is $220 and that the Spooky Wheel of Nightmares is $140. Those may be plus or minus $10. I just don't have it right in front of me, but that's definitely pretty close to what the prices are. The Spooky Go Round and the House of Laughs will not be for sale anywhere. They're just giveaways. And there will be a bonus if you have all 4 of them. That bonus is that there will be an additional 13% unit speed boost for beekeepers, fabric plant workers, and candy shops. Now we'll get all of this typed up in a post and sent out probably later this evening. So expect to see it then.
Okay, so spooky stuff. I left the image there. It comes with an extra stuff, which is the decorations that I mentioned. But the four buildings can be seen there that highlights the amazing art by our talented Wanda Gent. So he created that setup that you see there with the theme or the carnival theme and the lighting. I think it looks amazing for both the buildings and the decorations. So that's how the NFTs will look in the Gala store in OpenSea. Um, and the buildings in game look really awesome. So yeah, that's coming. I think we're aiming for Monday. You said, for Michelle. Michelle.
Yes. Can you not hear me?
Oh, yeah, no,
Yes.
yeah, you got cut off. And the decorations are probably coming later next week, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to shoot for maybe Thursday, maybe Wednesday. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but they're looking really awesome.
Yes.
I don't think we have shared a GIF of them, but we should. So we'll probably leak over the weekend or maybe Monday. Let's see. Any other questions? Are there questions regarding the Halloween stuff, guys? Apparently not. Well, Farmer Michelle will post all of the information so you can review it. I remember that two of them will be for sale, two of them will be giveaways. Putting all four in the map, they don't have to be together, but putting all four in the map will give you an extra boost. And that boost will be useful in next week's competition and next week's competition. Right, Farmer Michelle?
Yes.
Got it. Let's move on quickly to the next stuff then, which is leaks and competitions. That's you too.
It is me. I can keep talking. We already had the big leak, which is corn. Corn is coming to the game. I'm not going to tell you what the other crafts are yet, but you can probably guess. I think I said once already in chat that there was candy, and that it also had to do with chocolate. So you can probably make some guesses as to what that will be. That'll be the new craft coming to the game that starts on Halloween. So it'll probably be in the game that Friday before Halloween. This next event is the Jack-o'-lanterns event. Let me take a screenshot of the points that are changing so everybody can see it and I don't have to read it out loud. We did adjust the stars for Jack-o'-lanterns and then boosted a couple of things. We boosted wax and cotton yarn because I know that with jack-o'-lanterns alone, sometimes it's a little tough with the wages being so high. So there are some stuff that's cash boosted, so you can sell those extra materials and hopefully pay all of your jack-o'-lantern wages. It's potters; they're expensive. The biome for this will be Forest East. There will not be an oil seep. All of the edges are forest. And this is the week we decided to do a new starter town. I just had Wild Moopsie send me a picture of it. Beautiful. Let me download this and post it in the chat. So we wanted to try to do it so that people could get right into jack-o'-lanterns. Well, you can't really go right into jack-o'-lanterns, but it's got what you need to go into. See, it's wax. We had some people test it, so the wages should be good. You should be able to run it effectively without like running out of wages super fast. Everything is in the right spot. You've got your worker for your energy. There's a water facility. You've got a lumber mill already right on the starting town. 3 warehouses in case you run out of storage because you never know. You've got your builder. You've got the pottery shop, beekeeper, and the beehive, the nectar, and the clay. So you should have everything you need to just jump right into wax. So we'll see how it goes. It's our first time playing around with it. Definitely let me know how you feel about having a different starter town and all of that. I think this one went through like 4 or 5 iterations before we finally settled on exactly what this one was going to look like with some testing. So it was a cool process to go through. So definitely let us know if you like it. What else did I forget? Trade time is 30 seconds and 15 seconds. One gasoline still, and we're gonna start everybody with 75,000 cash, not 25,000 cash, since wages are so high.
Yeah, this is a first for our competitions, right? This weird and different and complex starter town, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see how it goes. I wanted to address something before we move on to the next section, which is gonna be the live paper read through. I see Camrar mentioning like he's fighting with you, Fire Ritual, for some reason. Like,
Yeah, he seems to think that because SageMaker got a promotion and he's not necessarily right here with us directly anymore, that he doesn't care, that Townstar is not important, which is totally not the case. That's not how
uh,
jobs work.
yeah, I mean, there's been some movement, right? Uh, we had Que Sera for a while, and we had a couple other people that were here, and then they had to leave for different reasons. But the current team, I think it's pretty solid and probably not changing much in the near future. We have Volcron as head of engineering. We have Ninja Surprise in social media for Michelle with you guys, and also helping with game design. We have our new game designer, well, Moopsy, and we have our art direction, an art team that recently also got a makeover. And I think this team is really great, really solid. A lot of live of experience, a lot of gaming experience, and we're trying to leverage that. The fact that Sage is not here now doesn't mean that he's not involved with the game. As I said before, I meet with him at least 3 times a week, an hour each time, to discuss the game, to discuss what we're doing, to discuss next steps. But he was asked to also help out with other projects, right? And that's why you can see a lot of movement in other parts of the gaming organization in Gala. You'll see many games being released. We got Get Plugged out now in both iOS and Android. We're getting, I think, 2 games in the next month or month and a half or something like that. There are some potential news from Miranda's coming soon. So Poker Go is also there. So Sage is involved in a lot of speeding up those other projects and processes, right? So I know you guys are very involved with Common Ground World, but I think that it's also beneficial for everybody that the Gala Games portfolio as a whole keeps improving and being released, and Sage is instrumental to that happening. So again, sorry, Camera, if you don't like me personally, I'm gonna guess it's because I'm Latino, and Cola Day.
Oh my gosh.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Uh, I'm just joking, man. You have a right to be, wonder about those things. I'm gonna answer as candidly as possible, as honestly as possible. But the current iteration of the Common Ground World team, I think it's pretty awesome. We have the final piece of the puzzle coming in Monday, which is our PM, and I really have high hopes for that. So yeah, that's all I have to say for that. So we are on time. Do you have any other thing to leak regarding competitions, Farmer Michelle, or we'll leave it for next week?
I don't think I have any other leaks. I think I said everything I needed to say. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay,
Oh, there
so I
won't be any
really
blueprints
oh,
this week. One more. There won't be any blueprints again this week. We are working on getting blueprints again. They will not be every week anymore. I know I've said this a bunch of times in chat. We're definitely not going to be able to do blueprints every week. That would not work fundamentally for the game going forward. If we added a blueprint every single week, we'd have to add a new craft every single week for the rest of eternity. And that is just not feasible. So there will not be blueprints every single week. They will be, I don't know, every few weeks or something.
but we did
That's all I've
have
got to say.
a change to some of the reward structures for one competition coming, right?
Yes.
Did we
There's a
announce
double
that?
reward competition. It's in the pins. There's a double reward competition the Halloween week with the new craft that people don't know about that they know involves corn and chocolate.
Okay, so guys, the just so we're clear, so there's a competition starting on Halloween Day, October 31st. That's next Tuesday. That will have new crafts, I think one new building, and the spooky theme park stuff will be useful in next week's Jack o' Lantern competition and in that mystery competition on Halloween Day. So make sure you grab the two buildings and you get your two buildings because we're giving those away, two of them. And if you want to make your town look spooky, make sure to grab the decorations when they go out. I think that we'll now go into a little intermission while we wait for Bitbender to come on. We'll be back in a little bit, and remember to like and subscribe.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. Here I'm going to do a little bit of a run through with this. I've got the Discord up and running. I'm going to be. Anyone want to take bets on Bitbender showing? LOL, ha 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 ha. Yeah, I'm here, man. So I've got Discord up. I'm going to be watching the conversation there, and we'll be going into some of this stuff. But before we start, there's a few things that I would like to kind of dig into a little bit and sort of poke at. And then I'm going to take my stupid, ugly face away, and then we'll do this whole read through thing. Caveats. First thing, one, this is still a work in progress. The reason that we are showing it to you guys at this stage is because we want to get your thoughts, your involvement, your opinions and stuff, rather than just, take a document, have it be completed, and just yeet it out to you guys and say, this is what it is, be happy. We know that that's not what you guys want. It's not what we want. We want to make something that you guys are happy about and passionate about as well. So that's why we're having this intermediary stage. So with that said, a lot of stuff that you see in here, anything that is in here is up for change and discussion. Okay. There's some things that we feel quite strongly about and that we will, probably keep, and, unless there is some really compelling reason not to. But then there's some things that, if the community feels a very, very different way about things, we may be willing to consider that. So with that said, we're going to jump in, and everybody who was on the call previously is also still on this. They're just kind of in the background, and they, you may hear them pop in from time to time as we have discussions about stuff. But it's mostly going to be just a straight up read through. Before we get started, does anyone have any questions? I'm watching the Common Ground World discussion, and then we'll jump right in. And Zerby, it didn't take 3 weeks. I was here 2 weeks ago too, wasn't it? It was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it, Paul? Good, Paul. I hear you in the background.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
here
last week.
Yeah, you're
last
here
week
last week.
too. I'm here. I'm here, man. Okay. Let's see here. What else do we have? Does anyone else have any questions before we get started? Chocolate covered candy corn is a horrible idea. That's a vomitous, terrible plan. I don't know who did that. That's not a thing that should happen. Where can we get the paper? You're going to get the paper right here. We're going to do it right now. It's not going to be released in a still flexible form because people will well, you know how people are. People may be like, what? This is the final thing? No, I'm unhappy about it. And then it becomes a whole thing. So we're going to do that. In fact, I'm going to do one thing here really quick on OBS. I'm going to go add text. Okay, I'm going to do this, see if this works. I gotta select a different font. Hold on, I'm just doing this so that it's super clear that this is still something that is being worked on. Let's go ahead and say color. We're gonna do a nice red. And background color, background opacity is at 0. So the color doesn't matter. And it's going to say work in progress, subject to change. Got to make that font just a little bit bigger so that people know we're serious. Okay, there we go. And I'm just gonna plop that right there. That is not at all red enough though. But anyway, so you guys can see that on the stream, right? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to turn off myself so you don't have to look at me and you can see the words, and then we're going to do a read through. Does that work for everybody? Can we have the font be in Comic Sans? No, but we can make it papyrus. I'm willing to make it papyrus so this entire thing can feel like a weird feel like there's a weird spa or something like that. Okay, so turning myself off. Boop, there we go. Introduction. The Common Ground World Light Paper serves as a comprehensive guide to the innovative fusion of blockchain gaming and regenerative visions, facilitated by the transformative partnership between Gala Games and the award-winning film Common Ground. This collaboration aims not only to entertain, but also educate and empower our community through a rebranded flagship game that integrates the principles of regenerative agriculture. Featuring gameplay modes that reflect real-world sustainability efforts, upgradable in-game items, and a commitment to social and environmental impact. Common Ground World stands as a groundbreaking initiative at the intersection of gaming, technology, and planetary stewardship. This light paper outlines the objectives, features, and roadmap of this exciting venture, setting the stage for a new era in conscious gaming. The primary objective of this light paper is to offer a comprehensive overview of Common Ground World, elucidating the key elements that mark our transition from Townstar. As we forge ahead into this new chapter, it's crucial for our community to understand the enhancements, opportunities, and innovations that come with the rebranding. This document aims to clarify questions regarding the transition, provide insight into the evolved game mechanics and tokenomics, and to lay the roadmap for future developments. We hope this light paper serves as an essential guide for both current players and prospective members of our growing ecosystem. I am going to be watching the chat here, and if anything pops up, I will go ahead and mark it as a comment in here. Transition from Townstar to Common Ground World. The rebranding to Common Ground World signifies a pivotal shift in our approach to gaming, aligning with the impactful environmental mission of the Common Ground film. We believe that gaming offers an unparalleled platform to educate and inform players about sustainability and regenerative agriculture, turning virtual actions into real-world awareness. Furthermore, as we continue to evolve and develop the gameplay, players can anticipate a far more polished and engaging experience in Common Ground World than was ever before in Townstar. This transformation isn't just a name change. It is a commitment to merging entertainment with education and advocacy, creating a game that doesn't just pass the time, but also makes a meaningful difference. As Common Ground World continues to evolve, players can expect a more immersive and polished gaming experience while still retaining the basic gameplay style and competitive DNA that have defined our game from the beginning. we're introducing several significant changes that will deepen your engagement with the game world. A greater focus on persistent play and an increase in casual play options will cater to a broader range of gamers. The introduction of a new first-time user experience will streamline the onboarding process, ensuring that players can dive into the action more quickly. Behind the scenes, we're developing a much deeper economy and extensive syncs, which will add layers of complexity and strategy to the gameplay. We're also enhancing the utility of nodes, making them more integral to your in-game progress. Finally, a renewed focus on guild and team expansion will encourage collaboration and social interaction, making Common Ground World not just a game, but a community committed to making a meaningful difference. Okay, let's see here. Just going back and seeing. Zerby, is BB really going to read the whole light paper to us? We are adults. Most of us can read, yes, but many, many, many of you don't, which is why I'm doing this in an audio format. Because the amount of things that I write out and that nobody reads is rather astonishing. New game mechanics. Rest assured, all the features you've come to love in Townstar will still be available in Common Ground World, but with exciting improvements and additions. One of the most anticipated features is the introduction of upgradable NFTs. Players will have the ability to upgrade their NFTs through 20 different levels, utilizing 12 different types of upgrade materials. These materials can be acquired both through gameplay and node operation, giving players multiple avenues for advancement. Importantly, while upgrades will not change the rarity of an NFT, they will significantly impact its functionality within the game. For those who prefer to advance through gameplay alone, it will be entirely possible to upgrade an NFT purely through play. However, keep in mind that the drops for some upgrade materials will be extremely rare, adding in an additional layer of strategy and excitement to your gaming experience. The node ecosystem. In Common Ground World, a guild mechanism offers a robust set of features for the Common Ground World node operators to enhance the collective gameplay experience. With each level of the Common Ground World node, operators will be able to enhance the abilities and functions of their node, which may include an increase in guild members, an increase in the number of bots that can be attached to the node, and an increase in the number of NFTs that can be attached to the lending library for the node. Guild members will enjoy the exclusive advantage of being able to access the Common Ground World node owners' NFTs for in-game placement, enriching their strategic options. As for upgrading the Common Ground World nodes themselves, operators have a variety of pathways, including the purchase of node upgrades or via a merge mechanism, effectively combining their levels for an elevated gameplay experience. This multifaceted guild mechanism serves to deepen the community engagement, bringing more excitement and versatility to the Common Ground World. Kamrar, some people don't read. They really don't. For example, I have a tendency to listen to a lot of different things. It's something that I find helpful, and I know a lot of people do as well. Go ahead and pull the people in the chat. Ask them. Yeah, and we have 115 people that are currently watching on YouTube right now. So, clearly somebody is interested in hearing this, and you're one of those people. So if you don't like it and you want to read it by yourself, just wait for it to come out. Okay, in Common Ground World, we're introducing a transformative approach to bot functionality with the likes of FarmBot, TradeBot, and more, which will now serve as NFTs designed to boost node operation. The unique aspect of these bot NFTs is their community-focused benefit. They're not just individual power-ups, but provide advantages to all members within a guild. Whether it's accelerated farming capabilities from FarmBot or enhanced trading options via TradeBot, these NFTs work to elevate the entire node's performance. Guild members will experience tangible benefits in gameplay, such as faster resource generation and more efficient trading, creating a cooperative environment where everyone shares in the node's success. The communal benefit system exemplifies our vision for a more interconnected and collaborative Common Ground world. Tokenomics. In Common Ground World, nodes serve as the heart of our community, and it is with great excitement that we announce the integration of DIRT, a specialized database backtracking token, into our node operations. This happened over the last couple days. You will have seen that in inventory. Dirt is engineered to meticulously be able to track a wide array of in-game activities, but is particularly attuned to the daily operation of your nodes. Each day, node activities will generate dirt as a testament to your node's contribution to the Common Ground ecosystem. The accumulation of dirt tokens is not just a numerical representation of your node's performance. It's directly tied to the forthcoming token drop, setting the stage for a rewards distribution system that is deeply rooted in your daily interactions within the game. The more efficiently and effectively your node operates, the more dirt you will accumulate, thereby increasing your rewards for the upcoming token drop. This offers a dual benefit. Not only does it incentivize the optimal operation of nodes, but it also fortifies our collective mission of environmental sustainability and community development. As we near the token drop, expect further details on how these hard-earned dirt tokens can be used for various in-game advantages, exclusive experiences, and much more. In Common Ground World, earning dirt isn't just an experience based around nodes. It's an active engagement with various facets of the game that rewards your involvement. Players can accumulate dirt through a multitude of activities designed to suit different playstyles. For those who enjoy daily challenges, NFTs that earn town points will subsequently earn you dirt. If competition is more your speed, both single-player and guild-based competition rewards will also contribute to your dirt stash. We're also exploring the introduction of social activities as a way to earn dirt. These could range from referral programs to gifting mechanisms, visiting other players' towns, or even helping out in community building activities within other towns. Each of these avenues provides players with the opportunity to be an active part of the community while simultaneously accumulating dirt, which can later be spent to influence the game's development. Community growth and engagement. And this is, I think, something that people are going to be pretty excited about. At the core of Common Ground World's success is our vibrant and engaged community, which is all of those who are listening right now. I appreciate you guys, whose feedback and insights are invaluable in shaping the game's direction and design. To facilitate a truly democratic process, we are leveraging our in-game dirt token system for voting in our Discord channels. Community members can cast votes on various game-related matters, ranging from new features to in-game economic adjustments, based on the amount of dirt they have spent in-game. This ensures that those who are not only active but also invested in the ecosystem have a weighted say in its development, aligning community interests with those of the game. By tying voting power to dirt spent, we're rewarding active participation in the game's ongoing evolution. Another avenue for community participation is through node governance votes. As nodes are central to the ecosystem of Common Ground World, it is only fitting that node operators and guild members have a formal mechanism to voice their opinions on key decisions that impact nodes and guild activities. Governance proposals can be made, debated, and ultimately decided upon by the community, providing a decentralized approach to game development and enhancing the collective experience for all involved. Last but not least, we are excited to introduce Common Ground World Community Interviews as another platform for your voice to be heard. These interviews will be a regular feature where we will delve into the experience, suggestions, and critiques of our player base. This is a chance for you to articulate what you love, what you think could be improved, and what you hope to see in the future of Common Ground World. We believe that the best game design is informed by the people who are actually playing the game, and these interviews will serve as a direct line of communication between the developers and the community. Your involvement doesn't just make a game, it defines it. In conclusion, the Common Ground World Light Paper is your definitive guide to the evolution of a game that transcends mere entertainment, creating a harmonious intersection between blockchain gaming and global sustainability. This significant transformation from Townstar to Common Ground World is not just a facelift, but a metamorphosis, aligning the virtual world with the values and principles of real-world environmental impact. This goes beyond a new game mechanics like upgradable NFTs and an enhanced node ecosystem. It embodies a groundbreaking initiative for meaningful engagement. Our vision is to create a game where you can make a tangible difference, evidenced by features such as Dirt, a specialized tracking token tied to your node's daily contributions that puts power in the hands of our community. This entire venture operates on the backbone of a democratic community engagement model, facilitated by features like Dirt-based voting, node governance, and open community interviews. It elevates your voice, making you not just a player, but a co-creator in this ambitious project. The goal is to make Common Ground World a living, breathing ecosystem that grows and evolves, much like the natural world it aims to protect and rejuvenate. Your involvement and feedback are not just welcome, they are vital. As you explore the evolving landscapes of Common Ground World, remember that each click, each decision, and each strategy can resonate beyond the screen, contributing to a collective mission of planetary stewardship and social responsibility. As we embark on this journey laden with new opportunities, features, and community-driven developments, we invite you not just to be a part of Common Ground World, but to be a cornerstone in its foundation. Whether you are a competitive gamer looking to dominate the leaderboards, a node operator focused on community building, or someone passionate about global sustainability, there is a place for you in Common Ground World. Your actions will fuel its growth, your voice will shape its future, and your engagement will define its success. Welcome to the new era of conscious gaming. Welcome to Common Ground World. Okay, and some acknowledgements here really quick. We'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible community that has been the backbone of our journeys thus far. To say that we wouldn't be here today without you would be an understatement. Whether you've been with us since the earliest days of Townstar or have recently joined as the unfolding saga of Common Ground World, your presence, support, and even your criticisms have been instrumental in shaping the landscape of our virtual world. To our ardent supporters, your enthusiasm fuels our drive to continuously innovate and push boundaries. You are the wind in our sails, and your belief in our vision propels. Our vision propels us to strive for excellence each day. And to our more critical community members, we thank you too. Your pointed questions and critiques keep us on our toes, challenging us to consider different perspectives and reminding us that there is always room for improvement. Your skepticism isn't a hurdle, it's a catalyst for self-examination and growth. Both cheers and challenges from the community act as a compass, guiding us through the expansive and sometimes turbulent waters of game development. We are committed to creating a game that not only entertains, but also makes a meaningful impact on the world. Rest assured, every comment, every discussion, and every piece of feedback, positive or negative, doesn't go unnoticed. Whether or not just building a game, we are building a community, a movement, and a force for positive change. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and go to, crap, where did I put it? Normal? Boom, there we go. So there you go, guys. That is the read through. And I'm more than happy to take some questions here. We have a few other people here on the call as well who may pop in as I'm talking. Sure, go to all 5 icons. Then I can turn off my camera and nobody has to see me. Ha 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 ha. Okay, let's see. Answering some questions here. I'll deal with peace of mind and your question about ETH gas fees. I'm going to have to dig into that a little bit. Ed777 says paper has a lot of words, but no real details. When actual data? What would you like to know? Specifically, what are you interested in knowing? Let's see. How does the game, dirt, nodes, etc. actually work? You know the game, right? Common Ground World. I assume you play it. That's why you're here. Like, you know how this works. Right now, the 1 dirt per day for nodes is based on the previous running it for the last year and a bit. So as the full economy folds out and the tokenomics are locked in, then those final numbers will be released. Will Gala remain as comp rewards until dirt is in place? Yes. Distribution information, the final distribution information will come in once the final token is coming up to be released. Good question, hey now. So long story short, in terms of distributions, what we don't want to do is release a paper that has final tokenomics on everything, see that those tokenomics do not work in practice, and then go from there and have to fix the issue. What we'd rather do is have a test token that people can then use, okay, experiment, play with the various core loops in the game and whatnot. And then once we're sure that that is locked in correctly, then we would release an actual token with attached tokenomics. Vulture says, thank you for the read and insight into tokenomics. I'm glad that that helps. The reward structure for competitions, once they're rewarding dirt, will be released by the team and likely tuned. So that's not a thing that we can put a definitive number on right now. Jetty says, isn't that what happened to the old white paper we never got to use? The old white paper was a entirely different team. And, you know, I think that this is a very different scenario here. How long do you estimate this dirt token will last until we see a real token replacing it? I don't know exactly, but I would hope that it's not too terribly long. Do we know how much dirt will be distributed per day? A definitive number. The idea for a distribution per day of dirt boils essentially back to the idea that there's a certain amount of the token that can potentially be emitted, and then a percentage of that will essentially be emitted. That, you know, between the current existing supply and the future max supply. So whatever that, you know, delta is, whatever that number, which I think right now is 0.3%, and current discussions of total supply put it, I think we're going with a 50 or 100 million. I'm not 100% sure on that. That may change, but so it'll be some number in there with a percentage that gets released. But again, that's very much still up to flux, and we want to lock in, we want to make sure that we lock in the exact in-game loops first and make sure that there are lots and lots of syncs before the actual token is released. The problem with, well, not the problem, there were several, but one of the big problems with Town was that there were not enough syncs in place when Town went live. So people were earning Town, but people weren't doing anything with it. We want to make sure that we have almost the opposite. I wouldn't go so far as to say a problem, but I want to have the opposite scenario in place when this token goes live. So even though the emissions much tighter, much better curve to them and all of that, but I want to make sure that there is ways to sync absolutely everything, and people want to sync it because that's how, you know, they will be able to engage most deeply with the ecosystem. Let's see, what other questions? How will the daily challenges work? How much dirt do you get? How are nodes upgraded, merged? If you merge 2 nodes, do you get 2 dirt? Reward structure, etc. The paper is very light on details. Ed, as I just said, the specifics of the exact tokenomics will be released later after we've tested it. So essentially what's going to happen is there will be this is what it is right now with the test token. Actions will be performed and they will be analyzed. If we discover that, you know, for whatever reason, not enough of that dirt is being sunk, or that some of the things that we assume are valuable considerations in terms of like being able to participate or, you know, voting and things like that. If we discover that people hate that idea, then maybe we have to revisit it. What we don't want to have happen is that we release something, a paper that says this is the specific number, and then we have to change that. But some of those questions I can answer very directly. How are nodes upgraded, merged? Yes, that is the thing that we said. If you merge 2 nodes, do you get 2 dirt? The emissions for nodes will be determined on a variety of different factors. It's not just, you know, getting every time you level up a node, you get the same, you know, doubling up of the rewards and whatnot. But all of that will be released as well. But you will get increased functionality for each level of the node, which is the important thing here. Will Dirt be usable in the Gala store? Dirt will not be usable in the Gala store. The future token would be usable in the Gala store. Dirt will likely be usable in game, though. Let's see here. What do we have here? Will Dirt have any actual utility? Yes, there will be lots of utility. When sinks? Where are sinks in light paper? Really? Okay. Voting mechanism is a neat ad, but there's no details about how the guild structure actually works. Number of players in a guild, number of NFTs to be delegated. Nothing describing the daily challenge system, specifically in-game sinks, number of NFTs a player can earn from. Yeah, that's again this information that I'm talking about testing it and getting it out there and making sure that it actually works before we lock in the numbers in a published document. Let's see. CGN says, I especially appreciate you reading. I'm multitasking, and I now I instantly have the knowledge while carrying on with my current task. That's why we do this, man. Can a guild own more than one node? I believe a guild is going to be tied to one node, but you can merge those nodes together to increase the functionality.
That's correct. So I'll step in there. So one of your nodes will be essentially your guild, and you can fuse other nodes you have. Those are NFTs, right? So you can consume those NFTs to increase the level of the guild. As I said before in the first part of the town hall, there are three vectors for improvements when you do that. One is amount of members, like max amount of members. The second one is amount of slots for using bots that give a passive effect to all guild members. And the third option is amount of sorry, it's oh I missed one part, but it's the amount let me backtrack.
Is the number of NFTs.
The number of NFTs that you can slot so that they can be shared with the rest of the team. Yeah, sorry for the little lapse.
Not a problem, man. Okay, so in-game usage, family man. Okay, for starters, there isn't hyperinflation because the economics are not built that way. It is a diminishing curve. Okay, so there is no hyperinflation. The emission rate, okay, roughly models that of spider tanks, at which at any point in time, roughly 60% of the tokens that were ever released in spider tanks were spent back into the game. Okay, so that is something that we know works. We've seen that before. Sinks in game. There is a number of sinks in game that are mentioned here. Okay, there's obviously the purchases of NFTs. They're the concept of being able to upgrade things, to be able to purchase upgradable items. So if you want to upgrade one of your NFTs and you don't have a node and you're tired of waiting for the drops, then you can go ahead and buy the upgrade materials necessary to upgrade your node. There's also potentials like speeding up of timers and doing all sorts of things like that that are tied to the concept of dirt. So the token itself will be used broadly in game, and that's the point. There's not really a part of the game that it's not going to touch at some point in time. Okay. The captain says, only Gala can confuse me more while answering questions than when I started. What's your question, the captain? Can only the owner of the node link the bots to it, or can other guild members too? Right now, the current design is that I believe it's only the owner. So the rewards will not be able to be sold for Gala or anything. I didn't say that at all. I said that the Dirt test token right now is a database-based token. So it is not bridgeable out. It's to check to make sure that the economy actually works and functions. Then bridging gets turned on and a token gets dropped. RNG Crypto says, I've been out of the loop here. Will there be a mobile app on iOS and Android and not just a mobile web browser version? I don't actually know that question. Is that a question that you want to answer, Pablo?
So I was reading this. So can you repeat?
Will there be a mobile app eventually?
So right now we're focusing on what we said before, upgrade system, and guilds, and a couple other things. So right now that's out of our roadmap that we're working on.
Okay, perfect. Any idea when Common Ground World nodes will roll out? So the NFTs for those, I'm hoping, I wanted them to roll out this month, but I feel like that's not going to happen. I would like to see them by the end of next month, if at all possible, but I'm waiting for a final feedback from the node team on that. Family Man Farm Kids, do we have an idea of how long it will be before we can receive some information with numbers in it? You're going to receive the game with numbers in it. You're not going to get a document that says these are the numbers. You're going to play the game and you will see what the numbers are.
So just to answer there a little more specifically, I was mentioning in the comments that we are working actively in the roadmap for all of this. So we have all of our engineering team working on estimations based on designs that were already approved. So we have approved designs for upgradable NFTs for guilds. They have gone over to engineering. They are going through them, making sure that we're not missing anything, and they're providing an estimate. Once we have that, we'll put it in a roadmap and we'll share that with you guys. And my expectation is once we are close to release, we'll have the final numbers to share.
There you go. Okay, then another question. Can't buy or upgrade NFTs with dirt? Several people have asked. I think we've answered that several times. The idea is that, yeah, you should be able to buy and upgrade some NFTs with dirt. That's kind of, again, the point. Paramin's definition of earning, receiving something which has USD value. Actually, I don't think that's actually the definition of earning. You can look it up. I'm reasonably certain the dictionary does not mention USD in there. And I don't believe that competitions will be switching over to dirt fully until dirt is actually a token. Or the new token is released. Until that point in time, it is very likely that there will continue to be Gala as at least part of that. Let's see. Bitbender, how long will guild competitions be? I do not know that question. That's probably a range of things because they will constantly be reworking how these things are, making sure that they stay fresh and they stay interesting. Can players freely join any guild node for a competition? You will need to be invited by the node owner or guild owner. Are there penalties for leaving? I don't think that there would be, except you would obviously not have access to any of those NFTs anymore. How will the rewards be split among guild competitions like Legacy? The node owners decide. I think there's a few different ways that can be done. But I think that the easiest thing to do would be to let the guild owners decide. There can also be something, for example, and Pablo, please feel free to tell me to shut up. But one of the things that I like about Champions Arena is that when you distribute things in your estate, like I have an estate and I occasionally will go and distribute gold or gems or whatever. When I distribute those gold and gems to people who are members of my estate, I can do it by contributions. Yeah.
Hey, shut up. No, I'm joking. So I've seen a couple of questions regarding guild competition. How long will it be? A couple of questions. So this is the general take, guys. We have our scheduled competitions right now. We will keep having our scheduled competitions with our leaderboard reward structure for single players, but we will add a secondary reward structure for guilds, right? So there will be fewer spots, of course, because guilds can be large, and you have to work together as a guild to accomplish something and get higher in the reward scheme. And those rewards will be deposited into the guild's vault. Now, who controls the vault is the guild owner, right? So this is also a matter of trust, right? Uh, like if you go and say, "Yeah, I'll join your guild," and then do jack shit for a competition, well, don't expect the guild owner to say, "Yeah, I have an equal share of what we all earned in this competition," right? It should be merit based, but that's up to the guild owners to decide and distribute those rewards. And on the other hand, if the node owner runs with all of that, well, of course, people are just going to leave that guild and never trust that person again. So I think that's part of the interesting system that gets created, where there's a lot of trust based decisions from both sides. Like I'm trusting you to join and participate as a guild owner, and as a member, I'm trusting that my contribution will be rewarded equitably with the rest. So the vault will receive a bunch of things, specifically upgrade materials that will be useful for upgrading your normal NFTs, like for example the Common Ground Academy or the composting facility. Um, and that is the owner of the guild that can go and say, well, I got 100 upgrade materials of this kind in the vault this week. 10 for you, 15 for you, and so on. And those will receive in each person's account. So that's the current intent.
So I'm getting messaged by somebody on Telegram right now that is sending me a picture of a fake me who's asking them to send them money. Fake me on Telegram is always an asshole. Okay. What are you talking about, family man? The risk of removing Gala as a comp reward into a soft token get most players out of comps, which will be equal to no more NFT sales and no more Gala burn for founders node owners. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but this entire ecosystem significantly bigger than just Common Ground World. There's a lot of stuff going on for the Gala ecosystem in general, and the Gala burn from founders node or from Townstar is not a significant part of the ecosystem. So it's not like founders node owners are going to be capitulating and falling down because you aren't buying an NFT in Gala, especially when all of the other things that you will be able to do with Gala in the future will be released here shortly. And yeah, Gingerbread Man, that is it's always embarrassing when I'm at a conference and somebody's like, "Hey, can I have your Telegram?" And so I just take their phone and I search for myself on Telegram, and there's like 6 of me. It's funny. Ancient Giant wants a season battle pass. I think that's a cool idea. Okay, what do we have? And yes, Vulture, thank you for pointing out that I haven't said that. I appreciate that. Let me see here. Scrolling. If no longer earning from competition, what we play competition for? You would be earning from the competition still. But the reason typically that you play competitions, that you do things, is because they are fun. It is, after all, at the end of the day, a game that you play for fun. If you are playing a game only to earn money, then you probably shouldn't be doing that. As of right now, what other games, apps are people spending Gala on? They're spending across the entire ecosystem, man. You've seen what's going on. Like, you can go and look yourself. Question. So growing the guild has to be the same node owner, or can other owners combine? You would need to, you wouldn't be able to combine different people's nodes together into one, because one person has to be able to hold that at the end of the day. So that's not going to work.
Yeah, as I mentioned, also that could create a bunch of edge cases. So imagine that you have a guild member and you have that system, right? So I have a node running. I'm gonna attach it to my guild, and that means that it goes up one level. So now we have five more spots for guild members, right? And then five people join, and then that person gets angry with the guild for some reason and leaves. What happens then? So we lose five spots because it goes down in level. So now you have more people than you should, and it creates a bunch of problems that shouldn't exist. So the guild owner will have to improve its own NFT, its own node, and get the benefits of that. But if other guild members have NFTs, then they have the sorry, they have nodes, they have the option of running them to get the daily distribution, right? And potentially other cases that we're planning for after guilds are out. But for now, you have those options, right? You can either work on your guild, or you can run them for passive distribution.
Okay. I'm trying to answer Peace of Mind's question here, but I don't. Oh, Common Ground World. Can you please answer the ETH question with a ETH transaction? When will ETH transactions be fixed on Gala? Common Ground World says it is Gala. Gala says it is ETH, but ETH shows transactions went through. We pay for much more than gas fee anywhere else, but items still in treasure. Sounds to me that you're trying to bridge something or mint something, and it's not going through. So, couple things: gas fees. If you're judging gas fees based on a simple send transaction that you would typically do, a mint transaction on a large contract is very different than sending an ERC20. So you may have to pay significant gas fees to actually mint something on Ethereum. I think that the thing that you would really want to do is mint it to GALACHAIN. I don't know if that's an option yet. I don't believe it is, but hopefully in the near future that can be done. Let's see here. Let's see. Earning with no fun creates a very toxic atmosphere too. So fun is more important if you think about it. Yes, it is. Okay, guilds that you guys have that are just, groups of people that are having fun playing games, that's one thing. This is going to be a slightly more formalized structure. You guys can still have unofficial guilds that aren't, operating on nodes, but I know that many of you do operate nodes, and I imagine that what you're going to see is you're going to see a whole bunch of people, coming together and circling around those nodes. GalaChain bridging costs $20 for sub $5 items. Yeah, GalaChain bridging to Ethereum, if that's what you're doing, is going to be expensive. How do I get my Vox in game? Is it only for Townstar Vox? Right now it is Townstar Vox, and I believe Miranda's Vox could be placed too, or is that not the case? But Townstar Vox definitely can.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What other Vox series are in game right now?
I just answered that. So
Okay.
Box right now mentioned before, we're working on enabling Box,
Okay.
but the only two Box collections that we ever supported were the Townstar Box and the Miranda's Box. So no Walking Dead, no other type of Box collections. Only those two. They have town points associated with them, and we will honor that.
Gotcha. Peace of mind. Yes, bridge from treasure chest to ETH because there's no option to bridge from treasure chest. Fees charged, but no transfer from treasure to ETH. Okay, it sounds like you actually have something stuck, so I would advise you to submit a support ticket because I think that that's probably going to be your best option there because it's not a thing that I actually have anything here right now. The legendary Tesla coil does not deliver $350,000 worth of fun. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't think that we ever sold a legendary Tesla coil for $350,000, did we? It might have been, a lot on the secondary market, but Yeah. Like the Champions Arena distribution model could be applied to Common Ground World. Use the money from NFT purchases for a certain period, pay the daily NFT, and the rest gets distributed based on gaining stars. That's something similar, but having a different token here makes it help a lot. Okay, Peace of Mind says I resent it a few times and it worked. Okay, great. Glad it worked for you. That's fantastic. Competitions generally stop being fun after 12 to 24 hours, depending on the meta. Then there's nothing dynamic to make it intriguing after the build is complete. After that, it's just babysitting it until the end. I don't do competitions for Common Ground World or Townstar. It just kills me. Let's see. More line GALACHAIN related questions. How are you guys able to create a chain address with addresses that use databases, use UUID way before chain was released to match that specific user? The part of it is computed, and I can get you a more technical answer on this. And it's actually probably something that we should have another chain, AMA here. But yeah, it's essentially tied to your account, and then what you're doing is you're claiming that account by setting up the transfer code. So it's similar to the treasure chest, and then you will go in and claim it. Let's see. Need random natural disasters if pollution gets too high. I like that.
I like it, but I don't know if you guys like it. Like I'm confused about that because yeah, you want the competition to change after a couple of days, but would you want your like half your town to be destroyed in an earthquake like in SimCity? I don't think so, right? But why don't you let us know what you guys want? What you like to see? I saw some mention of the research center. That's also in the pipeline, but with the name of the Common Ground Academy, which we sold, right? So that thing we sold it. You can see it in your inventory. We're working on making that available for boost.
There you go. Ancient Giant in-game storyline and cutscenes. That would be fun. I think it's probably a different style of game, though. Let's see. Anything else? Any other questions that you guys have? We got just a couple minutes left. Head 77. We want someone else's town to be destroyed. That'd be fun. I mean, that'd be a great use of being able to visit towns and randomly nuke buildings. Dubstep Rod, sorry, just to confirm, because you did not answer my first question. The material worlds will not be NFTs, but there's a way to trade them between guild members freely at any time. I don't want to. One of the problems, and this showed up originally a long time ago, is with people trading stuff. Obviously, in single competitions, you would not want people to be acting like a guild in a single competition. So there'll probably have to be some thinking around that. But if you're in a guild competition, or you're just in a guild for casual play, then yeah, you should be able to send resources to anyone at any point in time. The other thing that I think makes a lot of sense is making it so that all competitions are functionally guild competitions, and then that problem disappears altogether. Okay. Second question: why transfer from GALACHAIN to ETH is over 1,500 Gala, and it's regardless of the price at that exact moment. The reason for that is because that is a value that is set so that we make sure that the transaction does not fail. If we set that closer, there's a chance that your transaction will get stuck, and people just really, really, really hate it when things get stuck. So, if it's a high gas fee thing, then it's like, okay, people complain about the gas, but they at least got their stuff. If things get stuck, that's a problem. Okay, sorry for not understanding your question, Dubstep Rod. My bad. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you guys for listening, and thank you to everybody who was here participating in the in all of this, and we will catch up with you guys soon.